It's Christine Wilson and Safira Galoob, and you'll thank us later. Tune in every week and hang out with us because we're a lot of fun.
And no topics off the record, we decided. We are open to talking about everything together with a bit of a sense of humor, a lot of self-forgiveness, a lot of grace, and always being wiser on the other end. Bring it on, girls and boys.
You know what? You'll thank me later that I'm telling you about this. You'll thank me. They're going to hate us, Safira. It's going to be nuts. Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to see you all. I am fresh and feeling good off the beach. And I'm super excited, Safira, because I have you and Courtney, good morning, here today.
Morning.
We've invited my friend, Coty Ryan, to join us on the podcast. And I'm super excited to introduce you all. She's going to be a guest producer on the show and helping us out. And Safira, I got to know Coty on a brand trip where we brought her as an influencer, and then we did a second trip together, and she's just fantastic. So, Safira, I'm thinking this is our opportunity to learn all about the business of influencing. What do you think?
I completely agree. And I have to say, this whole new economy where people are making a living in this influencer space, it's really, but one, I'm so curious about it. And two, I'm curious about the actual business side of it and being an entrepreneur and having made money in a lot of different areas and sometimes more money, sometimes less money. So I'm so curious about the business model. So I'll have lots of curiosities for you to fill, Miss Coty, but welcome to You'll Thank Us Later.
Thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
Coty, we're so excited to know you. One of my reasons that I really love Coty and bonded with her is that I was literally talking about our podcast on our first show, and we all had a few drinks that night, and we contemplated this whole series of podcasts that I was going to have through many stages of my life. And they got dirtier and raunchier as we went, as my personality likes. And Coty was all in on it. She was like, yeah, let's make it nasty. I mean, I think it was like Sexy in My 70s. And it was going to be like a whole sex podcast for 70-year-olds, right?
Yeah, it was a very good idea. There's nothing like it.
Yeah. And the fact that she played along just made me know she was special.
And that's an untapped market. I'm telling you, my mother, she is our target market. She has
there you go.
Well, share.
The other fun conversation I had with Coty is, obviously we've got Nicole and Courtney as our producers, and Coty is of their age, and they're really the audience that we're speaking to, right? And Coty and I agreed that we both have this like total disdain for self-help shit and advice crap. And so then I was like, well, if I could ever convince you to listen to our podcast, because it's not like self-help and the other shit out there, then maybe this will make sense. Maybe this all makes sense. So Coty, I would love to just tell everybody your handle. You're on TikTok and Instagram, Beauty of the Foodie. And I would love to hear a little bit of your origin story of how you even got started on socials, got the particular topic of what you cover, and how that all started.
So I'm a food influencer, I would say mainly. I do other stuff, outfits, beauty, whatever, but I would say food is my core of all my content. I was really bored during COVID. I was working from home and I loved watching mukbang videos when I was bored. So I was like, you know what, for fun, I'm just going to start recording these. And I have nothing better to do with my time. And I'll start cooking on here and see if people like my recipes. And it really just took off out of nowhere. That's what it felt like for me. And I didn't go back to my regular 9 to 5. And I've just been doing this ever since. I think it was just the right storm of so many people were on TikTok and Instagram, bored at home, and then I just started posting. I was probably posting 10 times a day at one point, and it just, the traction was there. Yeah.
Well, I missed that. I missed that completely, that boat, because I literally made a different recipe every single night for 100 days, and I could have totally been your sidekick. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
I guess I would have had to have an Instagram account and TikTok account.
You'd have to open social media.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah. But I'm really impressed by that and inspired by that, Coty.
Now, here's the question Safira is not asking. She wants to know what a mukbang is.
Oh,
Oh
do you
my
not know?
God, that is so true. I don't know what that is.
Okay, so it's like an eating show. I think it was like popularized in Korea, like that term, but it's basically just you sit in front of the camera and you eat. You can do talking, you can do ASMR. Like lately, I'll do a whole version where I'm talking to the audience, and then I will just cut it to the clips of just me eating because some people prefer talking, some don't. So I got to get the views on everything I can, and they just want to watch me eat.
People watch
Okay.
other people eat.
Is that not the craziest thing? And actually, here's the funny thing. I find myself watching people eat all the time, and then I'm like, "Why am I watching this? They're chewing.
Mhm.
I can't taste the food."
There's also different aspects of it where some people do food reviews, like in a mukbang fashion, if that makes sense. That's become really, really big. So sometimes if there's like a trendy spot or something, I'll do like a mukbang review. Like pop-up bagels is big for that. Anytime a fast food has a new menu item, people will do like a review of it in a mukbang style, like them eating it and saying their thoughts kind of thing.
I saw you do pop-up bagels the other day, and they looked so good. Being that you're in New York and I have access to shit bagels from Dunkin' right now, my husband just brought home, and I was like, "Ugh, it's not even worth it."
Yeah.
Uh, the thing about it is, okay, so Safira, literally, these creators know how to make sure you understand why the bagel's so good. So, like, literally, like, tapping the outside of the bagel to show the crispiness of the outside and the softness of the inside and all that. You like, by the time you watch the whole video, you're like, almost feel like you could taste it.
It's a sensory experience.
It is.
All the senses.
Without the calories.
Essentially.
Without
No.
the calories.
For
Without
you
the
start to
calories.
crave
That's the
it.
experience without the calories. It's perfect.
I love it. So, Cody, when it started taking off, like, what were some of the things that you were like, "Oh, this works, this doesn't work," and like, what did you feel like you leaned into to get? I mean, because you have a big following on TikTok. Like, I mean, when did you see that really increase, or has it always been sort of steady increase over time?
It was pretty much steadily increasing constantly until like maybe 2 years ago. Then it kind of just, the app just became
So sad.
oversaturated. Yeah. And it was way harder to get followers. But I would say it was really, really steady. And I saw like if I'm eating on camera, they will come. Like, because I would try to show my outfits or do like a little vlog. And I was like, oh, they don't give a shit about this. Like, I have to eat on camera every meal for them to come back and watch. Yeah. And then they would give me requests and then I would do whatever they say. I was really just, a little horror for my
I
followers.
was gonna say it's only fans for eating.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Okay, so there's an app
Mhm.
and people sign on to the app and try to get other people to watch you eat. That's essentially the business model. And I mean, obviously, can you monetize it? How does it, what's, so
So,
this is
yeah.
I'm confounded by this.
For TikTok, I'm centering it around eating because that's where I get the most views. But there are cooking videos and things I've cooked and recipes that people like too. But I find that I get new followers from eating. Um, but on TikTok, you can monetize a bunch of different ways now. It used to be just the views, and now you can promote things on the TikTok shop. So, like, say I used a cooking utensil or a pair of jeans I bought on TikTok shop, which I just did, and they're awesome. That's besides the point. You make a commission on that if people buy them off your video. There's live streaming, and then people send you gifts on live. That's another form of income. But yeah, the views is typically, I would say, like the mainstay of the platform, why people post so much and get so many views and get.
So while you're live streaming, people can actually basically Venmo you. I appreciate you, almost like a tip.
Yeah. It's small, like not all amounts, but they add up into like your little live bank account, and then you can empty it, I think, when you hit like a certain threshold.
It's all built into the app, Saphira. So there's no Venmo. Like, it's all through the app. So TikTok has its own e-commerce section, which, by the way, I wear something from TikTok Shop pretty much every day.
Mhm.
And she also gets like affiliate money from things through that shop that she's promoting, plus just getting views on your video. She has this thing called a creator fund. So as a creator, they're rewarding you for getting views on your video. So she gets money from that too. But here's the fun part. This is how Coty and I met. We reached out to her on behalf of our client and said, would you create content about their toaster? And Coty creates original content. We came up with an agreement. We did a contract. She got paid to create content and to post it. So in addition to what TikTok funds her, she can do relationships with any brands that she wants to do and create relationships for pay. And they can be structured so many different ways. So some of it could be we could have her just create content and sell it to us. She never posts it, we use it. It could be that we have her create content, post it on hers, and then we can also reuse it as the brand. There's just so many different ways. Or, hey, we want to take you on a trip. While you're on the trip, we expect you to do this, this, and this, and show up and do this. And also, I'm imagining that your endless supply of free products is just that you get sent to you is incredible.
That is a really fun part of it. Safira, this is one of the most fun parts of influencing. It's called like receiving PR is just the general term for it now. It's just companies like throwing products at you, hoping you use it and post about it. Like I know some influencers, they will stockpile like 10 to 20 boxes of the free stuff they get from brands just to do like a giant unboxing. And then that will get so many views. I don't get that much, but I love getting stuff. Like yesterday, I got a giant box from CeraVe of all their like moisturizers and lotions, skincare, and I was like, I love this. It's so fun.
Love CeraVe. That's good stuff.
I think you need to send me the CeraVe neck cream if you don't need it. And I like the neck tightening CeraVe stuff.
I don't think I got that, but it would be yours if I did.
Okay, so Coty, what's the dark side of influencing? What's the negatives?
It's called Reddit, Christine. It's absolutely awful. I cannot go on there. Safira, there's a thing called snark pages, I think is like the nice term.
Pause. I've heard of Reddit. I've seen it come up in my feed, but walk me through like, what is Reddit? Is it a board? Is it an online board? It's an online, like, it's like if you were to go to the gym and it's a bulletin board where people could just anonymously say terrible things in whatever topic. Like,
I will say, I'm sure there are positive sides to it because there are so many like forums on there, like maybe a book review, movie reviews, like nice things too. But in my mind, of course, it's associated with all the bad sides, which is for my side of things, I associate it with this because people will make like, it's called a snark page. It's like a hate page where it'll be about one influencer. Sometimes it'll be like a cluster. Like I know there's a New York City page about every influencer, which I don't really fall into that. But of course, that's how it started off, and then I got my own page where it's just...
Wait a second. You have your own page on Reddit Snark? I think that counts as like...
I think that means you have a
page.
I said, oh, I made it. Yes.
Oh my God, I totally agree. Did you know when you got your own page, or did someone say you've gotten your own page?
I found it by accident because I made the mistake of, I was trying to find my, like a link tree, like how you have on your Amazon storefront. I was Googling that to get the link to post it in my profile, and then a Reddit page came up about me, and I went, oh, and it was freshly made, just on my, like, I hate my outfits. I wasn't dressing for my body type, whatever. And I was like, okay, whatever. But then it just spirals. And I, to this day, or maybe as of like 2 years ago, I have not looked at it. I tell all my friends, because I had friends who would read it and tell me about it. I was like, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me anything. Like, it puts my anxiety like through the roof. And then I feel like I can't perform on my page because I'm just constantly thinking like, well, what are they going to say about this? And they don't like this, but they like that. So I feel like I can't be myself if I read it.
Yeah.
So steer clear, and everyone knows not to tell me anything. But
I actually wonder how many new views you get from people. Like, I'm sure there are people who are like just professional snarkers, and I'm sure they're like, well, I want to see if I can snark on her as well, and I'm going to do some views. I mean, I bet you there's a view increase just because of the snarkers are curious.
For sure. Like someone, I'll get comments. I filter my comments to certain things. Like I don't want the word Reddit on my thing ever for people to go like find it for my page or anything. But I'll get comments all the time like, have you seen the Reddit page about you? Like, it's so crazy. And I'll always like, delete. No.
So that is one of the things that Coty told me, because I said to Coty, I'm like, I don't want somebody to be like, oh, she's ugly. Oh, she's fat. Oh, she has wrinkles. Oh, she's like, I already have to deal with all that myself. I don't need outside. And Coty did say you can filter the certain words so they go into this mean pile.
Yep.
And as long as you have self-control and never go look at the mean pile, you'll never know.
I look all the time. Just because I can't help it. I'll go into that pile because sometimes nice things slip in there that I need to like get out of the box.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm a very like, I don't know, realistic or maybe self-deprecating. I don't know. I grew up with two brothers. I have a thick skin, and there's nothing anyone can say to me that's so mean that I probably never said to myself. So it's just whatever. And no one who is successful and enjoys their life and is really happy takes the time to write something negative about someone else. So,
right.
Yeah.
That is such a great comment. And then for me, I wouldn't have to worry about that because I didn't even know that you did befores and afters for our GLP-1 episode. Like, it was...
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm complete...
You gave me the photo, so you
I
did.
know, but I've never looked at it. Like, I'm like the person who's like an artist who's never seen their own work. That's me. I do
Yeah,
listen to her stuff, but I would never even know like how it comes across social media wise.
yeah, she would be fine because she'd never see it. Yeah,
Right.
Cody, are you impressed with
Bliss.
how in a cave that I live? It's really it's like significance.
I want to get there one day where like I make enough money where I can just go off the grid at I don't know, I go back and forth because I always joke like I'll be doing Depends commercials one day if they let me. Like I will do this until the wheels come off, you know, like I'll be on my deathbed, like last one, bye besties, you know.
I think it's Lisa Rinna who was like, I'll take any money somebody's willing to give me. Depends commercials, I'm in. I'm like, you go, Lisa. I love that.
Agree with her more. I was talking to my new manager. That's a whole other side of
Oh
this
yeah.
business. And she was saying like they send you a questionnaire when you first sign with their agency saying like what's off limits, blah, blah, blah. And I basically marked like nothing's off limits, like maybe sex toys because I have family, but everything else, like we're game, like I will do anything. I'm open.
I think sex toys should probably make a lot of money though.
You probably can.
Well,
but
and I will tell you, I think there's an
orphan.
elegant,
damn,
there's an elegant way to do it as well. And by the way,
not
everybody
elegant.
masturbates, and if they aren't, they should be. So let's just go
Look
there.
at Courtney's face. Courtney's like, I'm
Masturbation
not
is
signing on right now.
good sexual health, and I think we should do a show on it.
I agree.
I don't
I-
disagree.
I have to tell you, I was in college and my friend Dana and I went over to this girl's apartment. She was a year older than we were. And she started talking about her vibrator. And I was like, oh my God. I could not believe that a human being would talk out loud about it. I was so sheltered and so just appalled. And I was like, masturbation is a secret thing that no one ever talks about, no one admits to doing. And for God's sakes, you don't talk to other women about it. And I remember leaving and saying to my friend Dana, can you believe that? As I spit on myself, sorry guys. I'm that upset about it. And then it's like so funny. It seemed like from that moment on, everyone was just talking about it all the time. And I was like, oh my God, I'm the weirdo. I'm the weirdo that thought that like, no, it was all just secret. And I didn't grow up Catholic, guys. I don't know, but I had that whole mentality of like, no one talks about it, doesn't exist, it's not a thing. I think we were just hitting the age at which people were finally like, oh, fuck it. Yeah,
Right.
this happens. Yeah.
We're all doing it. We're all
All
doing
right,
it.
so Coty,
not,
our
you should
goal
be.
is to get you a really nice sex toy contract, but that's the next thing.
I don't know how elegant I can make a sex toy, but you know what? I'll give it my best shot.
I would love it. So tell me, okay, so you've got your parents, your two brothers. What do they think about it? And what did they think about it as this started to develop?
I feel like it was this weird thing when I first started, like, oh, it's fun, you know, we're home from work, okay. And then when I said, like, I'm not going back to work, because I worked for my uncle and my mom, like their family business. I said, I'll keep doing your social media, because I was like the young person in the office. I would do that for them. I said, I'll keep doing that, but I'm not coming in anymore. Like, I'm going full fledged. I need to try. And then it became kind of like, what about a real job though? Like, if you don't want to go back to that, what about a real job? I was like, this is a real job. People make real money from this. And my parents were like, all right, we'll give you a little time on this. We'll see. And I was like, no, you're gonna see. It's gonna work out. But I think like my parents were like probably the first to really be like, okay, like they would see some like checks I'd get and they'd be like, okay, all right, you're
Wow, this is real.
okay. Right. I got a manager and they're like, all right, you're doing your thing. My brothers, they're very like hands off in my personal life. Like they're more like joke around, want to have a good time with me. They're not very like in the weeds about like my life choices, which I don't know if that's normal for brothers, but that's just how mine are. And they just were like, you know, it's fine, but like it's weird. We're not gonna watch your stuff, or like if our friends are watching, we don't want to see it. And I was like, all right, fine. And they still have that mindset. My older brother is 34 and he'll be like, I don't like to watch your stuff when it comes up. That's so weird. I'd rather just talk to you. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. So they're weird about it. But I thought it was most interesting, like extended family was probably the most weird about it. Like I remember I had someone who just kept saying to me up until last year, like, yeah, but like, have you thought about finding a real job? Like, are you going to like work in an office? And I was like, no, that's not a thing anymore. I don't have to do that. And she was like, oh, okay. And then I think her kids kind of like explained to her. And then all of a sudden I was getting like, here for your videos, I bought you this thing. And I was like, oh, interesting.
You're on board now.
Right. I want to go back to the manager. So how What does a manager do? When did you realize you need one? Do people just have people are managers just for influencers? Is that now and also a
Yeah.
specialty?
Yeah. So, yeah, like influencer management agencies, whatever. Um, Honestly, I didn't go searching for one. The first one I had, they reached out to me. We did like a little Zoom call. I did a few, then like I just started accepting, because sometimes you get emails and I was like, what is this? Like, I don't need this. I'll just do it myself. Um, but they're a great help because what they do is they will reach out to brands on your behalf and negotiate for you and find things for you and just give you like content strategy. And they do a lot of research on whatever's trending or what's doing well and what's performing. So they're a big help. The first one I had, we worked together for a long time, but they were kind of growing and I felt like I was getting kind of like I was in the
Push down. Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, you know what? I think I need to like go out and find something else. So then I started looking and I would ask other influencers, like, who are you with? Who do you like? And I got put with one and it was disaster, like so bad. I don't know if the agency was failing. I think they're still around. I don't know. It was a really big one in its heyday, but I think they started to taper off. And it just became like the calls every week were fewer and fewer words, and like then it was my fault that nothing was coming through, and it was just starting getting really weird. And I was like, I think it's time to split.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I took a break. I was just doing it myself. Like there are platforms you can apply to that have like campaigns that they're looking for influencers, and you can sign on and apply and put in all your stats. So it's getting a lot through that. And then brands will reach out to you if they want to work with you, like to your inbox. And then just recently I started taking like meetings, whatever, with agencies, and I found one I really like, and she is perfect. She is chronically online is how she talks about herself, and it's perfect. She knows all the trends. She watches all my stuff, gives me tips. She's amazing. It's only been a few weeks, but I really like her so far. So I'm hoping we make a lot of money together.
That's great. As an influencer marketing agency, I have to tell you, we're super sad when someone's like, I just got a manager. We're like, oh,
Okay.
now, I mean, it makes our lives in some ways easier and in some ways harder. One, managers tend to be pretty responsive, whereas influencers on their own juggling everything may not be super responsive, but it immediately means prices go up because
Yeah.
now they're going to take their percentage and the prices go up, and the contract negotiations and the red lines on the contracts are just exponentially higher, right? And so it means we have to bring in legal, we have to go back and forth all the time. And so, but I started influencer marketing long before there were any managers. There were no managers. And then these PR firms were sort of trying to do it, but they didn't really know what influencer marketing was about because, the big difference between PR and what I consider actual influencer marketing is PR is earned media, right? So those people pitch and they send product and they hope. There's no like contracted, negotiated terms. So when I work with an influencer, I know exactly what I'm going to get and what they're going to be paid. There's no wondering. There's no hoping they open our box on camera.
That's like a will they, won't they in PR. So it's kind of like a gamble every time, which this is
This is paid and PR is earned, and I don't like to be in the earned space. I like to be in the paid space. I run an advertising agency. This is what I do. So anyway, it's so funny. Like we worked with this influencer, Albert Cancook. Love him, love him. He did the most incredible video, and we got a decent rate for how huge his reach is. And then, like, the next time we reached out for a different client and he was like, oh, can you talk to my manager? We were like, no. And I'm not kidding. The price tripled. It
Yeah.
tripled.
I didn't even think about that on your side because when you said that, I was like, you guys don't represent influencers. So my first thought was, well, if I get a manager, that doesn't affect you because you guys don't represent influencers, but I get it. You represent the companies, and then got it.
And 10 years ago, people were like, do you want to represent influencers? I was like, no. I was like, I didn't.
Smart.
It, It's stroking ego, it's managing expectations, it's
Yep.
coaching, it's so much handholding, and I was like, "Absolutely not." I never. And so we would always have people, they'd be like, "Well, who are your roster of influencers?" I'm like, "The whole world is my roster of influencers. I am not pinning myself to the 47 that I've signed,
Right.
and having to feed them the work and try to fit square peg round hole." I'm like, so we've always stayed completely off of that side. Even when I saw there was money to be made, I was like, let the people who understand talent management do that. I don't come from talent management. I don't want to do it. And also, I don't want to deal with the egos of certain influencers, because there are some influencers that are just like the most amazing, normal people, Coty. And then there's people that are literally think that they're Brad Pitt. And I'm like, whoa, like I'm not doing that. I can't.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I love this job and I love everything about it, but the actual people in it, like in my industry, make me so nervous because so many people like that. And like, I don't go to a lot of influencer events. I just say no a lot of the time because I get really bad anxiety. Like, because I've been to somewhere, like, I've met some amazing, lovely people, but then there's sometimes those one offs where you're just like, I never want to leave the house again. This was so weird. You made me feel so inferior for no reason. And they can even have a smaller following than you. Like, I once met a micro influencer. Like, I'm talking micro. I think her friend was an influencer or something. And the way she just kind of looked at me and was like, well, who are you? And I was like, oh my God, I want to die. Like, I don't know. Who are you?
It just went viral on TikTok this week. There was a San Francisco Bay Area influencer who was asked to come to a restaurant and do a collaboration. The host had invited her. She got there early.
Oh,
and
or something else. Sorry, go on.
Well, so the owner, I guess, of the restaurant, who is some James Beard award-winning chef, was like, came over and is loudly talking to the host 2 feet away from the influencer and said, who is she? Look at her shitty following. She doesn't have enough. I don't want her. She's not of the aesthetic that I want. The girl could hear him and she left in tears. And she went on and she talked about it. She didn't name the restaurant. She didn't name the chef. She went on and did it. And I have to say, guess what? She just went from 15,000 followers to 70,000 followers overnight.
Right.
And everybody figured out the restaurant. She's like, I don't even understand how you guys figured out the restaurant, but they did. And that restaurant is going to be annihilated now. And I'm like, don't treat people like that. Number one. Number two, you have no idea what a micro can do, I have worked with huge influencers where the payoff was nowhere close to what we spent. Right. Nowhere. And so, yeah, the industry it's a crazy industry.
It really is, because you could have 2 followers or 2 million and just certain things will resonate with people and some won't. Like, I'm sure you got some videos pop off and get a lot of followers, but if people don't like you and connect to you, it's useless.
Yeah, it's useless. Exactly. I think one of my favorites is we had an influencer with not a huge following, but he really specialized in deals at Costco. And he made a video. It was fine. It was nothing super polished. Sold out those toasters on Costco.com. And Costco literally came to the brand and was like, what did you do? Like, oh my God, we need more. And the brand is thrilled. That's a huge partnership for them. And it was one little video that we hardly spent any money on. And it just drove thousands and thousands of purchases.
See, that's the best, though. That's why I like this. You never know what's going to take off or what people are going to resonate with. It's so fun.
Yeah, it is fun until I have clients who are like, guarantee me. And I'm like, I can't guarantee you anything.
Like,
you either do this it's the fun of the gamble or don't.
Right.
I cannot guarantee you a darn thing.
Right.
So Coty, one of the things that I think that you and I and Safira all have in common is that we want to live our best lives. And as entrepreneurs, all three of us have made decisions that have been for, I think, bettering our opportunities to live the lives we want. Now, Safira and I are maybe a few more years into the bumpy roller coaster ride of influencing. We've had many highs and lows. But I think one of the things that we wanted to do in our time with you is really understand what would be interesting to you, what would be helpful for you to learn from us in not the, hey, we're telling you, as Safira says, we're not going to should you, right? Is that right, Safira? Do I have that right?
Good on you. We're not going to should
Good on you.
We're going to experience share and then let you decide how to shape information from our experiences to inform your decisions.
I think for like a younger, little bit person, I think it's more interesting than like, I wouldn't take it situation by situation. Like, hi, when you were buying a house and in this situation, did you do this? That's not interesting to me. I think, at least for me, I'd want to know like, well, at this stage of your life, what were you feeling? Like, is it normal if I'm feeling like this way at this age? Or am I way off for what you think I should be going through in life right now? Or is this on target for what you thought at the time? Or more like that than like, hi, I'm getting married and we want to have this many people. And because those questions I'm sure come up like with advice and stuff, but it's more for me like, I don't know, just big picture feeling stuff than
Well, and I'll tell you the other piece that I think I'm really, and this is like my unique moment here because I've had this huge professional challenge that I've kind of navigated through, and I'm actually pretty proud about the way I came on the other side. We'll do a podcast on that. But how do you manage like, significant stress or change or day-to-day anxiety or uncertainty? Like, I'd rather take big topics that I know are ubiquitous, irrespective of how much you're making, what your public kind of persona is, because this is a human condition. And women deal with their human condition differently than people who do not identify as women. And I believe everybody has some of it, but I do think there's some idiosyncrasies about that. And I think you deal with it differently at different times in your life. And I think there's some strategies to help people feel less hijacked by the human condition. Is kind of the way that I would describe
right.
that opportunity.
Well, we are going through something unique when the president of our country literally asked a sports team, I'm not kidding, in the Oval Office, if women could be good enough to play with them on their team, and said, they can't, they couldn't. I mean, that's the world we're living in 2025. We're literally being questioned about where we stand against men,
Right.
in everything. And I think we thought, especially, I always say I grew up as a kid in the 80s who thought boys were doctors and girls were nurses. And I thought over the last 40 years, this evolution of like my standing in the world and my capabilities and the respect of men was just something improving on a daily basis. And I feel pretty assaulted right now in the fact that I'm like, I don't know if it's any better than it was 40 years ago. I think there's been a lot of hiding of some thoughts about women. So I do think as women, we have unique challenges, period. I think I do have young men that are, I think, going through in my household a lot of challenges with the bro culture and the standards of what men are being held to right now, too. So I think they have their own unique challenges. But obviously, I can only speak to that from an observational perspective, whereas my own perspective, and I think all of you have probably felt it, there is something to being a woman that I feel like I'm reminded pretty frequently that I'm a woman. I think I've been pigeonholed into roles at times that were the woman's role. I think I also did it myself because my expectation was that I would clean the house and I would do the laundry. And I really think that rethinking all of that, not just, hey, I'm making out to do the laundry going forward, but like, how do I stand in this world as a woman? And my biggest thing is I want to be making it easier for you all. I want to give you guys the tips and tricks and the whole, here's why I looked at it wrong so that you can do it differently.
Right.
And I will say that the most fundamental thing, you can look at whatever's happening technologically, whatever's happening in terms of, new opportunities to have careers that we didn't know about. But one thing that is not changed, irrespective of, however many number of years that the human beings have been in existence, modeling for people and giving people something to see, to say, if she can do that, I can do that. She's describing a situation, 20 years ahead of me. And if I can visualize what that looks like, if I can understand that, and either referencing Christine, the doctors and nurses scenario, or even like comfortable in discomfort or managing complex emotions, and my biggest thing now is how do you prioritize things that feel difficult? How does one, as a kind of overachieving woman in my mid-50s, how do I put the right amount of emphasis on certain things? Like, that right there, that could translate to things happening every single day, every single week, every single month in everybody's lives. How do I assure that I'm not over dramatizing something? And that is a maturity piece that I think we, Christine and I can certainly say, well, we did it wrong this way, but if I'm doing it again, I'm going to try it a different way. And then knowing that, you can be like, okay, well, let me try to model that in my assessment of how much emphasis I want to put on something.
That is like totally a maturity thing, because not that I think I'm immature, but I think the way I deal with things that are like stressful or hurtful to me or whatever, I'm a blocker. Like I will just block it all out, like it's not happening, and just be like, I should just work hard right now, or I can't think about that because it is too sad or stressful or taxing on my mental health. So I'm just gonna block it out. And then like 3 months later, you'll be like, why am I crying after I had a few
The
drinks?
Nile, a river in Egypt. But I will say, even the concept of maturity, for example, I think we have assessed in our society that that word equates to a less than, more than. And I don't think maturity is less than, more than. I think it's just like, how many times have you experienced this situation? So you're now more deft at identifying it, how it comes into your life, how it moves through your life. Like to me, a challenge for you, I think, or a growth area for you, is like allowing difficult things to move through you versus you walking around them. And so there's a whole process. There's a process for doing that. And it doesn't even matter what is coming at you. There's a process for going straight through it versus tiptoeing around it or ducking it or closing your eyes while you run really quickly. You know, and that is something I think we can experience, share on.
Right. Yeah. And I think that I was an avoider. I still am an avoider when it's possible. I think one of the big challenges for me was when you have children, you can't. And it was like these
Some
things
people do, Christine. You just happen to be more courageous than many women that I know who have children.
Yeah.
No,
I've had some things that I just can't bury my head in the sand for. And the pain and the navigation of that, I think I told you, Coty, when we were talking about our show, the most listened to podcast episode that we have ever done by far, 5 times more than every episode, is the one we did about parent trauma. And not to say, and I hate that, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to scare you guys and be like, guess what? Being a parent is traumatic. But guess what?
Hey, being a parent, it's traumatic. If not, you're in denial.
The trauma comes with the joy, right? I mean, the joy that's incredible, but the trauma is for real. And I think that episode resonated with people because people were afraid to say those things. It was a thing. It was the masturbation. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about the trauma that comes with that. So I think there's more for us to explore there. But so, Coty, we're super excited to have you on the team. We can't wait to see you make us TikTok famous, and then we can have our own Reddit about how stupid we are. I love it.
Yeah.
The day that happens, we're going to throw a party that we have our own snark page and that we are just the worst ever on the planet.
No, it's flourishing.
Yes. But we are very excited to have you and your point of view. And yeah, so I mean, any other questions, guys, for Coty? I mean, we're going to keep digging in, and we're going to, by the way, here's my question. I have a super nosy question. You can just say pass.
Okay.
Do you make more money now than you did when you had an office job?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
not
right.
pass. Not pass. Yes.
I love it. I love it. I mean, and that's the thing where I'm like, oh, do we just do this, guys? Do we just?
I mean, my office job, I was low on the totem pole, so it wouldn't have been that hard, I think. But yeah, I do make.
Well, Coty, the first rule. I'm sorry, Courtney, go ahead, and I'll say that my first rule for you for the day.
I was just gonna say, I think honestly, that's like, I would hope people listening to this would hear that and then get hope and feel inspired to do influencer marketing. Because I admit, I only thought that you might make a career out of it if you become like Alex Earl, which I know is like 1 in a million, literally. And so like, I always thought like, oh gosh, well, like, unless.
Oh yeah, it's like, I think some micro influencers make a ton.
Right. And I think that's good to know. I just don't think a lot of people know that. I didn't know that. And I think that would give a lot of people like hope and comfort that you're not striving for like A-list celebrity.
And I tell everyone to try. Like, everyone should try if they have a want. Even if it doesn't pan out, you never know. You could meet someone or make new friends that way. Like,
I think that's
post. Yeah.
I know that.
How many pieces of content are you putting out a week right now? Just so I think about the time.
I don't know, a week. I try to post at least 1 to 3 times on TikTok every day. And then YouTube is usually 1 long form video a week, 2 if I'm being an overachiever. And on Instagram, stories every day and feed posts. It really depends. I feel like my Instagram is where I'm like no man's land. I have no idea what to do with it because I don't understand the pictures versus reels. How many of each should I do anymore? Because I am from the picture days of Instagram. I love posting like a really beautiful photo or like a thirst trap and getting all those likes. The reels feel like forced to me. I'm so not into them yet. And I'm trying because like brand deals want you to post on reels, but I don't love reels, but I'm trying. So that's
Can't you just put your TikTok videos on Reels?
so me and my manager were talking about that yesterday because she was like, you don't do that. And I said, I feel like that's being lazy and cheap to my audience. You should go to my TikTok for one thing, my YouTube for my lifestyle, and my Instagram for something new. Like, I don't know. I always thought it was like, well, I follow you on TikTok and I go to your Instagram. Why am I looking at the same stuff? Can you give me something different? But that's
Here's my only argument for you. There are a lot of people that are just a little bit older than you are that are not on TikTok.
Yes.
And they're using Instagram. They're using Instagram Reels as their TikTok. So they and the funny part is they come to me and they're like, "Oh my God, I just saw the funniest thing on Instagram Reels." And I'm like, "Yeah, I saw that a week ago on TikTok." But that's their only source. They're not going to both. So
my manager was saying, she was like, that's a nice mindset for your community if they're all on each platform, but no one is anymore. And I was like, oh, so I have to rethink everything.
And I don't go, out of stupidity, I just expected that I saw all of what I wanted to see from you on TikTok. I don't think to go to Instagram to see something different.
Right.
Oh, so I think you can save yourself some trouble.
I agree. What am I trying so hard for?
You're overworking. Look at that. We just saved you out.
Overthinking, overworking, usual.
Well, thank you so much, Coty. We can't wait to dig into all of this and so much more on this season of You'll Thank Us Later. I think we got a lot of good stuff coming. We hope the audience is excited and ready to learn with us. And Safira, I am excited to make you an influencer. We're going to do it.
Well, I will tell you, I could actually be a test case is can you make somebody an influencer who is completely outside of social media? And by the way, Coty, no pierced ears, no tattoos, no social media. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Crunchy granola as it gets.
Well, here's the thing is I'm totally a fancy girl. I just don't live in that world. Oh, no. I'm like, yeah. I turn left.
Perception young people have of people who are anti-social media.
No. I want to be clear. I turn left. And if folks know what that means, they know what that means internationally. Let's just be clear.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
I love it. Okay. So when you go onto the plane internationally, there are two ways to go.
Got it.
I turn left.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, Queen.
She's living life not like my life. I'm turning right and I'm hoping I'm not by the toilet.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm uncultured swine and I hope there's space for my bag above me. And that's how I'm living.
Coty, I got you.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. Have a fantastic afternoon. You know I'm heading to the beach. I am going to the beach, ladies. That is my happy place. And Coty, by the way, you live near the beach all the time. I expect you to be there on the regular.
I'm a pool girl because we have one in the backyard, but I do love the beach too. I'm both.
Okay. All right.
You're sunscreen girls. That's the best thing for your skin.
Oh, we're both looking pretty brown, actually. So let's be honest, Coty. We're both
fake. Mine's fake. Yours is real.
Oh, so I'm the only one with the leather skin. All right.
All right.
See you later, guys.
Bye.